Which one of you won't turn the ball over wants to start at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon? You?
Graham.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'm stooping low, Graham, but I'm not going that low right now. But guys, I'm frustrated with it. You know, I mean, it was. I said there's 4 facets of the process of playing a game. There's the practice side of it. Then there's the game day shoot around and everything, because you really see if a team's focused in it, what they're doing. Then there's the pregame, which means you get here early. Some guys sit and think, some guys go out and shoot, but you get yourself mentally ready to play, and then the game. Those are the 4. 2 great practices. Very good game day shoot around. According to my staff, I don't see what goes on before the game, but everything was good. And then we entered the game, and I give Fred a lot of credit. His team has been through a lot. They probably got 3-4 wins they should have had if they make a free throw, get a call in that North Carolina State game. Make 1 free throw the other night. But I told my team, when you're shooting 60, 70% of your shots are threes, like some of those guys. One guy's 75%, and they're shooting 20%. He's not dumb. He knows they can shoot it. And tonight they made some shots early, and they made some shots early because we turned it over at will, and they got open looks, and that got them going. We bounced back. I mean, I'm sitting here disappointed. We shot 52% from the field, 47% from the 3, 68 from the line, and one of my best free throw shooters, Malik Hall, goes 1 for 5. We out-rebounded them 40-27. Gabe Brown was the brightest spot, only scoring 14 points. But I thought Gabe was all over the court. We worked hard on our weak side defense. We worked hard on help defense. I thought that was Gabe's best game in a Spartan uniform, if you look at everything. And I thought Max Christie was awfully good, and I thought Malik Hall was pretty good, and Tyson wasn't bad. Got to look for a shot a little bit more. And then we kind of drifted down a little bit. So, I don't know. You know, I don't want to say any more until I look at the film. But the eye test wasn't very good. And, it's disappointing, because what you do as a coach is you try to look at your practices, you try to get a feel for your team and the practices and the day of the game shoot around. And I told the team that after, sometimes you don't practice well and you play your tail off. Sometimes you do practice well and you don't play well. But you kind of hope now, 14, 15 games, 13 games into it, with one of the best starts in Michigan State history, we'd mature enough, but we're lacking a little bit of that, and I got to do a better job, and we just got to do a better job taking care of the ball. We take care of the ball and made a couple of free throws. There were probably a lot of positive things. They shot 45%, but how many of those were on turnovers for touchdowns? So questions. It's great when you can complain after a win.
Tom, in all your years, some of these turnovers, especially, we had 3 or 4 in a row, has anything puzzled you anymore?
It used to be puzzling when we'd be 20 up on a team, and I'd be sitting next to Judd, and they'd go on a little run, and he'd say, "We're going to lose this game." I look at the scoreboard, and I say, "We're up 15. There's 2 minutes left. What are you talking about?" That was puzzling. That was 28 years ago. So no, nothing's been more puzzling than some of these turnovers. I mean, I give them a lot of credit. Now listen, they turn over teams 16 times a game on the average. Give them credit. They do a great job, but you just said it. Some of those were bizarre happenings, and they got to get fixed. And it's me. I mean, I'm the one that's got to fix them. So no, how's that?
There were some really lackadaisical turnovers, probably the best way to describe it, but there also was the energy and intensity on the boards, maybe, that you guys have had, particularly the offensive side. I mean, how much did that keep you guys in it when all that was going the other way?
Guys, there were some good things we did. I mean, the ball moved. We at times just the offensive rebounding. What did we have? Only 11, but I think we scored second chance points. We got 16 points. Times the fast break was okay. I didn't think we broke as well as we've been. I thought our defense, believe it or not, was pretty good. They hit a couple of those shots late, or they would have shot 20-something from the three. But I just thought that, so I thought there were some positives. I mean, I don't know if we shot 52-47 this year in a game. I mean, that's encouraging. But you get 56 shots. If you get 10 more shots and 66 shots and shooting 51%, that's 10 more points easy. So these turnovers have been a problem all year. We remedied it a little bit there and then went to Northwestern, and same kind of turnovers, like you're sitting there scratching your head and like, what are we thinking? So we're going to have to figure it out and do a better job, because eventually it's going to get us. And be a shame, because if we're shooting that well now, we had been defending well. It's hard to tell how our defense was tonight. I think Gabe was great, but it's hard to tell because they had so many breakaway baskets or breakaway threes off of turnovers that hard for me to measure it. But I do give Nebraska a lot of credit. I mean, they've turned everybody over 16 times a game, so we just helped their average.
Tom?
Yes.
Tom, I was curious about the decision to sit Bingham for most of the second half. He was the first person on the bench, then he didn't come back in for about 5 minutes. I was just curious why that happened.
I do sub sometimes, but I let my position coaches deal with things, because, as you can tell, I'm a lot calmer this year, and I just didn't let those things bother me. But if a guy doesn't play with any energy, he's probably not going to play. And they must have decided that he wasn't playing with enough energy. So it's a shame, because Marcus has been real good. It's all part of this new era where I'll do what I want when I want, and maybe they will, just not going to be here.
Tom, for Gabe, part of being sort of a headliner is on a night where things aren't going right, doing enough to make sure your floor is high enough to win. He seemed to kind of do that tonight. Was that what this was?
I think it was. I mean, I was really proud of Gabe. He was having fun. He was having energy. He was playing hard. I mean, we were a little disappointed in Gabe last week, because we just said he wasn't bringing it defensively. At the beginning of the year, in fact, Mike Garland went back and dissected a tape when we played UConn, and I came in this morning, so I got something to show you. Or yesterday morning, I'm sorry. And I went and looked at the tape. I'm telling you, Gabe played so much harder. Some of that should wear down a little bit, but so we talked about it. Chuck gave it, and to his credit, he does want to be a complete player. He's starting to handle the ball better. He's starting to make some better passes. His defense was great. He had a couple of great rebounds. These stats got to be off here, Matt, because I know of a big-time offensive rebound he got late, and so I like to correct that, because every rebound I can get that kid, I want to get him. He deserved it. But yeah, I'd say that he did, and I thought Max Christie really stepped up too. He had to guard McGowan, and McGowan was 5 for 16, and I thought Christie did a hell of a job on him. So he was our leading scorer, and he had to be one of our best defenders. Now, I won't give him credit that he was all over the place like Gabe was, but I thought he did a pretty good job too.
Tom, before Christmas, you talked about your defense was a lot better than you thought it was going to be, and your offense was a little bit behind. now you're in the top 25 offensive efficiency in the country. You mentioned you shot 52 and 47% tonight. What in particular about the way you guys have played offensively lately do you like? Is it 3-point? Is it, assists per made field goals? What is it?
I don't think we're running quite as good as we were earlier, which is surprising. But when you don't, when you don't defend as well, I mean, I've heard people talk about Purdue the other night, just not defending like Purdue, Michigan State, not defending like Michigan State. There lies the problem with this modern social media era. When you give credit to something, it bites you. And so I think we were okay offensively and okay defensively, and I'm going to reserve the credit I give my team from now on till March, and then we'll spray it all around. I do appreciate effort out of guys, and I thought Max and Gabe gave effort. I think we are moving the ball a little bit better, but we're if Nebraska struggles on something defensively, they've given up a lot, and so I don't know if it was great execution. We're going to find out now because we get into the meat of our schedule.
Tom, to quote one of your lines, you say you're not ready to give the trophy yet, but when you look at Max and him having to check a pretty good offensive player and then being as efficient as he was from the field, just talk about that kid as a freshman doing that. So
Yeah, I'm really proud of him. If you know him at all, which unfortunately because of COVID and practices we don't get open enough. Unbelievable kid, he just works his tail off and he picks up things like that. He learns to listen, he listens to learn, and when you talk to him, it's like engraved in his head. I am shocked how good he's been defensively. He's rebounding the ball. He had the tip dunk. I mean, I don't know how many rebounds he ended up with, 4. But, when you're rebounding the ball, when you're defending the best player, when you're scoring 21 points, when I want the ball in your hands at the end of the game for the free throw line, that's a pretty complete player. And, I said for, unfortunately, about 8-9 games, this kid is a lot better shooter than we saw. He was shooting 25-6%. And him and Joey, I said when they step up, and Joey in the last 3 games, he didn't play very well today either, but he's been unbelievable. Hey, he didn't play very well, but he goes 8 rebounds, 5 assists. I thought he really moved the ball well, passed the ball well. But for some reason we were just off, and I don't know why. I mean, maybe you look at records, maybe you do things. This day and age, who knows why? But I got a lot of work to do in the next 2 days, and I plan on getting to it as soon as we're done with this press conference.
Going off that with Max, and because we can't see practice, how have you seen him grow in confidence over the last couple of weeks?
I never saw him lose his confidence, other than maybe 1 week he was a little down, and you could tell. And that's when I told him, Michael Jordan misses shots, and other people miss shots. He's very hard on himself, which is a great quality until it works in the reverse. And it was for about a week, but he just got in there, kept shooting. A few little adjustments on his shot. He was swinging the ball a little bit and that, but his shot has looked good ever since I've seen him shoot. So I love the way he approached it, and he's in here every day, taking care of his body. He just does everything the right way, and so Max deserves what he's got. And you know what? This is almost a miracle today. He struggled the first half of the season to shoot the ball. He didn't quit. He didn't transfer. I mean, it's amazing. He just went back to work. And I think doing that, failing a little bit, was good. And he just worked his way through it. He's still got some work to go, but man, that's a joy to see that for me. To appreciate that, guys, this day and age, because, it's the way it is now.
We'll wrap with Chris.
Wondering on your defensive end, Gabe had 4 steals, but you have 13 as a team. Is that a result of just the way, the flow of the game, or is it something that you guys have been working on with getting more hands active as guys get in?
I always give you guys credit for not knowing anything, but active hands is one thing that we've tried. In fact, we were disappointed early because we really wanted to, when that ball was at those elbows, remember they were cutting and doing some things and they were zinging it by us, and we'd really worked hard on getting our hands up. Mike was talking to me about it in the film room today, that, that's an area we have to keep improving. So we have really hammered on that the last week and a half since we've been back. I think we are doing a better job of it. But Gabe's activity was, it was fun to watch. I mean, there were times that he looked a little Draymond-ish, where he actually didn't get a steal and didn't do anything, but he stopped some things from happening just because he was juking and jiving. He was all over the court and energy level, and he played, I don't know, a lot of minutes, I think, 32 and a half minutes, and went hard as hell. So that was really encouraging by him.
All set, guys?
Well, thanks, guys. See you soon. Sure we'll have a press conference.